All right, y'all, good evening. Put together a quick little video. Well, I'm hoping it's quick, but I got quite a few things to go over. Made some changes. Obviously, had a lot of downtime last week because I got the Rona. So I was able to get a lot of meeting time with Adam, who's an absolute genius at Marvin. Love the guy. And he was able to help us out with a couple things. These pretty much, yeah, all these things we're going to be test piloting. So nobody in the Marvin network has had these created or had these requests. So it was kind of a fun project for Adam. It was super fun for me to work with somebody that knows what they're doing and could direct me, appropriately. So we got some pretty cool things going on in Designer here that I wanted to share with you. So we're going to take a look at those right now. And like I said, I'll try to be as quick, but also as complete and thorough as possible. So the first change you will notice is on your appointment screens. It's marginal, but I added the year built. So you can see each one starts with the year built, 1960 there on Susan and Ed Pfeiffer. It is San Antonio, and then the next line is supposed to be the subdivision. So Paul Franklin is a great one. 1929 built, Terrell Hills subdivision. So this will help with historic districts. It'll help with permitting, especially in that funky San Antonio, Alamo Heights area where they kind of converge, and you don't really got to be really careful whether it's permit or no permit. So this should help out with that. And as you can see, it will definitely help out with the lead, the lead forms. So you don't have to go to BCAT or Zillow or wherever you go to get the year built. It's right here for you. So that's what that is. It's year built there. If you look at Rita, it's year built, it's city, and then it's, what's that called? Like neighborhood, or district, municipality, whatever you want to call it. This is a good one here, Judy and Maggie Myers. So 1986 build, it's in San Antonio, and the subdivision is Heritage Park. So that'll help you out a ton with just some logistics pre-appointment without, as y'all know, I cannot stand without over digesting too much information and trying to determine the conditions of the appointment before we even get in the car. So that's the first major change. Secondly, I'm going to go into my test because I've been burning this up lately. I'm going to go into my test here. Second thing is the mileage calculator. So if y'all notice the needs assessment, we talked about this on the call this morning. The needs assessment tab, which is the very first tab, is new. Okay, so what you're going to do, you can click on this at any point any time in the appointment. So it doesn't need to be the first thing. Very shortly, it will be the first thing or one of the first things because we're going to start doing our consultation form in here, and I'm going to require that as a step. I didn't want to do that to y'all quite yet, but I'm going to require that as a step. So we're making sure we fill out a consultation form for everybody, which also incorporates the mileage. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on the needs assessment card, and it's going to open up this little friend, which is awesome. I love it. So this is going to be a mandatory question, okay? But the way that Adam helped me set it up is it does not produce any kind of multiplier or any kind of adder to the job unless it goes over the 20 miles. So you still, again, this is going to be a required form. So you're still going to have to put it in. You can see the red dots next to it. That means it's a mandatory input field. So even if it's 15 miles, I'm going to put in 15 miles, and I'm going to put in how many ever days, 1, 2, doesn't really matter because we're not calculating anything. Where it is going to matter, and then here, these are just straight off our consultation form. So much better way. I know some of y'all complained about writing. You don't like handwriting because your handwriting sucks, and you can type it now. And we got unlimited typing, so you can answer go as in-depth as you want with the client, which we should be doing, peeling back the layers. And you can type your little heart out, inside these fields, these text fields. So where this is going to matter is over the 20 miles. So if we go in here and I say, okay, it's 55 miles from the office, as we talked about on the call this morning, the trips to the job site from the office, this is all encompassing. It is installation, it is punch list, it is mortar, it is anything, painting. So you have to be, and again, you have to be accurate. And like we talked about this morning, don't be afraid to go a day or two heavy. if it's a complex project, it's not going to kill the client. Because we're redlining it, this isn't a substantial fee, and we want to make sure we give installation, the necessary funds or money in the job to do the job that they do and that they do well. So we need to make sure that we account for those days appropriately. I'm just going to say 3 for the sake of filling this out. Like I said, these will be eventually required text fields, all the consultation form questions. I'm not doing that to y'all yet, as I mentioned on the sales call this morning, but it's coming quickly. So I'd like you to get in the habit of this now. So when I do make this mandatory, we're not caught off guard or all bent out of shape about it. So I put my 55, I got my 3 total days. So this is going to do all the calculations for us. And then we'll take a look at that here in a second, but I need to save it. So up in the upper right-hand corner here, I'm going to hit save, and then it's going to kick me out to my main screen. Now, the next couple things I need to show you are regarding snap trim and stucco flange. So I'm going to go into my configure right away. These are all built already, and I've just, like I said, I've destroyed this the last week and a half. I've just been in here hours. So I'm going to build something new just so we don't make a mess of something. So we'll do a single hung. Just build it. You guys know what what we're doing here. No secrets, but I do need to get to the point where I can show you what I've added for y'all. 36, call this 72. Okay, so we're just putting in our normal inputs. Whatever. That's good. No sash lift, no tempering. We'll stick with the black spacer. It doesn't really matter. We got the high transparency screen. So now I'm going to go to the next, which is really all we need. We're good to go. We're not going to do any tinted glass or anything. What I'm going to do now is, okay, I got my window built that I need. Now, these next 2 things with the snap trim and the stucco flange, both brick mold and flush fin options, they are all line item adders. But as y'all know, there's little nuances, little tips, tricks, depending on your comfortability and what you think is easier. There's more than one way to do this. So the first way is to do it this way. If you're going to copy the window, say you're going to build your first window and use that as a copy, as a template for all the other windows, this way will work. If you want to build your entire job, if every window is going to need snap trim, which it, probably will a good portion of the time when it's all, masonry or all brick, rock, whatever, no siding, you can do it at the end and add it as an adder, and it'll populate that adder, and then it'll ask you if you want to copy it to all the other lines. So that's a very easy way to add your adders across the entire project if you know every single window is going to be the same as far as the adders go. It's a very quick way to do it against major quantities of windows very quickly. So it's up to you either way. We can talk more about that if you need some clarification on it, but it's pretty straightforward. So I'm on my adders tab up here at the top. I'm going to click my little plus in the lower right-hand corner, and then I'm going to select existing. So as you noticed, I created a new, before it used to be just windows. That was the only tab here. So I made this a little more streamlined for y'all. I did exterior window trim out. So that is the only space you need to go, when you're doing the exterior window finish out, whatever that may happen to be. And in here, you see everything you need. Again, on insert frame, we did not have the stucco flange options available in Designer. Who knows why? Adam doesn't know why. He couldn't explain it either. It only shows up on full frame. So here you have both your adders for stucco flange. Regardless of if it's brick mold or flush fin, we may, and just again, now that I'm looking at this, we may need to separate that and have a brick mold height, brick mold width, and then flush fin height, flush fin width. So I don't know, we may need to do that, or you put it in the notes of to determine which one it is. I don't know. That's probably going to be a 2.0 thing. But in order to get my correct stucco flange, I need both the height and the width. If I only select this, I'm only going to get half my window charged for stucco flange, which is not good unless you only need two sides, which is going to be highly uncommon. Sometimes there's banding on the top and the bottom of the window. That's very uncommon, and it's not going to look very good at all to do stucco flange on the sides and have that banding on the top and the bottom. So 9.9 times out of 10, you're going to be doing both of these. But if you do both of these, this adds the width times 2. It adds the height times 2. So I got 4 sides stucco flange on my window. And then all you'd have to do is hit done here, and you'll see your adder pop up. Now, you may be freaking out like I was, like, oh no, it didn't work, it's broken, this thing sucks. Not the case. So it says 0. But if you hit save, like I just did, and this is the same for snap trim and stucco flange, just so you don't freak out. If you hit save, and it's going to boot you out back to your main window. Obviously, my last one is here, so I'm going to go into here and edit. And then I'm going to go directly back to my adders. There, it pops up for you. So that is, and this is retail, this is going to be discounted. So there's buttons that you can turn on and off in building this out that say it's going to be discountable or it's not discountable. So this is discountable. So don't freak out if you add all this and it says 0, because I did, and I spent probably an hour trying to figure out what happened until I finally figured it out. So don't worry about it. Hit save, go out to your main window menu or menu takeoff, window takeoff, and then come back in here and you'll see everything populate just fine with the price. Now, again, if I want to do my snap trim, I'm going to go again, lower right corner, select existing. And here you see the snap trim height and the snap trim width. What I told you on the call this morning, this is going to be easily identifiable if you guys are using some other method or you forgot how to do it. So you do a manual entry snap trim. It's not going to look this way on the work order, which is going to be a dead giveaway that the right process wasn't followed. So as I mentioned on the call this morning, it's imperative that you guys all do this correctly. We're all on the same page, and we don't have anybody cowboying it up and kind of doing their own thing and getting crazy. So every single time you need snap trim, which is going to be quite frequently, these are the only 2 options you should use. I haven't deleted any of these yet, not the painting lentil. I'll probably keep the R&R wider trim just for those siding applications in case we want to do that. You have a place to charge for it. This one is going to go away. The exterior trim out on the kerf to cover kerf, that 173, I'll probably delete that. I wanted to take this slow to not freak anybody out. So I'll leave that for probably about another week, and then that will be going bye-bye. And your only 2 options for exterior trim will be the wider trim here. And then this, which is going to be very commonly used, is the snap trim height and the snap trim width. Again, you have to select both of these. If you only select one, you're only going to get half your window in snap trim. So we select both of these. Again, don't go into freak out mode. So for some reason it showed up, maybe because the other ones were in there, I don't know. But generally it's going to show you 0 until you save it and then proceed. So it's showing up right here. It's our snap trim. We got $36 for the height, $18 for the width on all 4 sides, and we're golden. Now this price is not discountable because this is at cost. So this will not discount. I don't care what you build, how many windows or anything, this will not discount on the entire project discount. So if you apply your bucket and 25%, whatever, it is going to not touch this 36 and 18, was that $54? It's not going to touch this $54. That is protected, and I made that undiscountable. So that stays at cost, and we get that full value added to the job because we're redlining it. So those are the 2 options that I wanted to share with you. Obviously, we've been in dire need of both of these. it's pretty cool that we're getting to test pilot these things that, quite honestly, nobody else in the Marvin network is using, which is pretty cool. I am very looking forward, because of all the hours he spent with me. I'm very looking forward to giving Adam some feedback and let him know how these are working, because he spent a lot of time with me getting these all set up and then built out. So please watch this. If you have any questions, let me know. We can talk about it Thursday. But these are the only options that we should be using for stucco flange on your insert, and then snap trim on your finish out with the window. So again, please watch this, take some notes, let me know if you have any questions, and we will go from there. All right, look forward to seeing you all Thursday, if not sooner. And again, if you watch this, have some questions, please let me know ASAP so we can get those answered for you. Thanks, fellas.